See, alright, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashami, or Shai, Ba'asham, Kakodash. We say that on our person and elders agree, Musan and Ruel, or teachers, or person in shoot, and we say salutations, holy Akamas, push on children, say Dean and the out, considering season or season, we say Shalom. And once again, going into that video here, and let's basically touch on upon this news article, right? And basically, it going into what? Familiar spirits, going into witchcraft, and all these things. Now, when we know when you read the scriptures and then go into the scriptures, you go into the Lord law, right? The laws of the Lord and so on. It tell you to stay away from things like this, right? It tell you not to go into familiar spirits. Tell you not to witchcraft and so on. But in Christianity, they denounce the words of the Lord. They basically tell it to what the Lord done away with. So you can go ahead and do whatever it is you please and ask for grace and mercy and all this set of stuff. Because when I was reading this, how would a pastor come out? How would a pastor come to tell his congregation that they're wrong for doing this if they're not following the law? So you get to understand that the law is a very important thing. Now, before going to the article, I would like to bring out the scripture. This is Psalm chapter 19. I'll go read verse I'll read verse 7, right? This is Psalm chapter 19, verse 7. It said, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So that is straight to the point. They said the law of the Lord is perfect. It's a reason why the Lord would tell you to stay away from something or to do something. It's a reason why he tell you not to eat this and you can eat this, because when just to touch upon the things about eating, the things he tell you, the Lord tell you to stay away from, not to eat, when you're going into the benefits of it, it have no benefits. All the stuff about it is negative, but the stuff that the Lord tell you to eat, everything is positive, everything healthy for you, good for you. So you get to understand the law of the Lord is perfect. The law of the Lord is perfect. But in Christianity, Catholics and all these rest of denominations, they tell you that the law of the Lord done away with. The law of the Lord is not important. So how are you going to tell somebody about familiar spirits if the law of the Lord is done away with? So you see, so you get to understand that Christianity, Catholics, being in those stuff is madness, right? So nonetheless, it said the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. Converting the soul, it said the testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. It said the statutes of the Lord are right, rejoice in the heart. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoice in the heart. So how could a pastor, a bishop, or come and tell you that the law of the Lord not important? That the statutes of the Lord not important, that you don't need to listen to it, you don't need to follow it. But now they come and they tell you about spirits, but where is that written? That is written in our law, right? So you see, the statutes of the Lord are right, rejoice in the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes, right? So you get to see at one time it talking about these things, and we're supposed to uphold the commandments, the statutes, and the laws of the Lord. Not saying it done away with now. Hey, how are you going to show that you're wrong if it have no law? You need the law, right? So going into the article here now, it says board game marketed as Christian is actually demonic, exorcist wands. Now, how would you prove that it's demonic, and how would you prove that you're not supposed to be listening to these things? Now, in Christianity, they just tell you that, again, as I said, the Lord done away with. So, their congregation falling into these things is because of them. They say an exorcist is warning about the dangers of a Ouija board, like product promising users that they will be able to communicate directly with the Messiah. Now, this is sure that even the congregations in Christianity, they lost. They say the blind shall lead the blind, and both shall fall into a ditch. The deceiver and the deceiver are his. And now this will show you that these people are being deceived because they're following Christianity that basically have no truth in it. Because if it had, you all would know that you're not supposed to be indulging yourself in these things, going on to the familiar spirits and so forth, right? Using a board to talk. Where's that written? The scripture said that blessed are the 40 things written inside of here. That's roughly paraphrasing inside the word in the Bible and here the scriptures. Not no Ouija board. So just to show you how far gone Christianity is. How far gone it is. Right? So let me jump into a scripture here. I'm gonna go to Leviticus. So you get to understand why it's such an important thing to follow the law of the Lord. This is Leviticus chapter 19. I would go to verse Leviticus 19 verse 31, right? It says, regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. So the Lord telling you not to go onto what familiar spirits, right? I want to look up the word. Let me look up that word quick. Right? You see, so what I did was just do a quick Google search, right? I say familiar. It's a demon supposedly attending and obeying a witch. So it basically going into a witchcraft, right? Often said to assume the form of an animal, right? So familiar, right? So that's going into what to witchcraft. Right? So you're not supposed to go into that. So it's a what? It's a regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. So the Lord telling you one time that you're not supposed to go into these things. So if you're in the scriptures, right? If you're in the scriptures, so-called these Christians saying they are the truth and so forth. How do you all have the truth and have to put this disclaimer? This should be one of the most simplest things that you all should know. But in the churches, in the churches they're teaching astrology, they're teaching all these other things. And how much witchcraft it have going on inside of there. How much idol worship going on inside of what the Christian churches and so forth. So these things come like a normal thing to them. Because why? They're not of the Lord. A familiar, a seeker, all these other things. A seer, all these other things. Right? So stay away from that. From this witchcraft and all these other things. You all going, let's imagine they're going into it. I'm going to jump to our next scripture here. This is the book of Exodus. Chapter 22. 22 verse 18. It says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And that was straight to the law. You shall not suffer a witch to live. Jumping into Leviticus, back to Leviticus chapter 20, verse 27. It says, a man also or woman that had a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. they shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them. So when you read the law, you get to understand how judgment was for somebody that had a familiar spirit, that was a wizard or a witch. So it says for another witch to live. So you get to understand where it is that they're not supposed to be going into these things. And when you read the word, where did it say to go and have a what other medium that had other than Yahweh Shai? There's only one mediator I'd have. But these people were going to what? A Ouija board? Since when you had to use a Ouija board to talk to the Lord? That's going into a sorcery. Right? It says Leviticus chapter 20 verse 6. Right? From verse 5. Then I will set my face against that man. You know what? I'm go straight to verse go to verse 6. It say, and the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against them, against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. So you get to understand how important it is that how important it is not to go into familiar spirits, how not to go and worship other gods, how it is not to go after wizards and all this other stuff. Let's read the book let's read the account of Saul. What happened to him when he went to a witch? Because the law clearly states that we're not supposed to be dealing with these stuff, going on to this stuff, listening to wizards. But Christianity, they want to go to a seer man, they want to go to a so-called palm reader and all these other things. That have nothing to do with Yahweh Shemi Oshai. But hey, again, you go expect that from what? You go expect that from Christianity. You expect these things from Christianity, from Catholics and so forth. Again, because there is no truth in them. They have no truth. Because they be telling you the law dead, the law done away with. So you can basically do anything in their churches. But really and truly, it's not so. Right? So again, stay away from these familiar spirits. Stay away from these churches. Stay away from Christianity, Catholics. Stay away from them. Right? So with that, once again, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, Ba'ashem Makakodash. We said, I'm going to support and elders agreements and reward our teachers, our apostles in the truth. And we say salutations, all the accountants, preaching the truth, and say, din and the out. Considering season, we say, Shalom.